it's Ashley, and welcome to Wedding in a Pinch. And in today's video, I'm gonna go over something that almost every bridegroom forgets when they're planning their wedding. I understand a lot of us are like, what do we forget? It's something that a lot of people overthink due to the fact that when we think of wedding, we think of all the flower pieces, all the centerpieces, the candles, the signage, the color, the fun aspect. But there's one thing that I think every bride should be doing or groom should do in the beginning of the wedding process, which is finding a wedding officiant and making sure you know your state laws on marriage license. And I'd like to say thank you guys for watching my previous videos and watching my craft tutorial. I know it was kind of all over the place. That was my first time filming with my tripod facing down, but I posted it because I want you guys to understand that we can do crafts as brides without spending a lot of money. And I have 4 more card boxes on the way just using the dollar store card box. So look forward to that. So now let's get into marriage licenses and wedding officiants. First and foremost, congratulations. This is the first time I said it, but congratulations are getting married. Marriage licenses are important. Make sure you know your state laws. Make sure you know how far in advance you need to purchase them. And make sure you know the cost. For me, I know in the state of Michigan, we have to get our marriage license between 1 week to 4 days before our wedding. And it's $20 if we're a resident. If we're not a resident, I think it's a little bit more. I'm not really quite sure. I knew when you go, you have to have your state ID. But most states are different when you go to get a marriage license. That's why I say know your marriage license rules. Make sure you get the application because there is an application when you go to apply for a marriage license. So make sure you know if your partner's been married before, divorced, know what name you're going to take, and make sure you guys have that conversation. Because when you apply for your marriage license, your new name is going to be on that license. So make sure if you're hyphening your name, your partner knows. Make sure if you're dropping your name and adding his, make sure you guys make that decision. Make sure you guys know who's going to sign it. And I mean, most people don't know this. Most people just wait until like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Some brides are like, oh, I gotta get my marriage license. And they go and it expires. Yes, your marriage license can expire. That's why I said make sure you know what your state regulations are when it comes to getting a marriage license. Make sure you know the guidelines. Make sure what documents you need to bring with you. And make sure you know what your last name is going to be. Because here's the difference hyphenating and dropping. Hyphenating is when you take your last name that you were born with and add your groom last name to it. So let's just say, I'm going to use for example, if your last name is Smith and you don't want to drop it, and your fiance last name is Jose. So that means hyphenating it would be your first name, your middle name, the name you was born with was Smith, Jose. So your name has just gotten longer. Now, if you're not hyphenating and you're dropping it, then your last name would just be Jose. But that's the most important thing I think every bridegroom, no matter what your sex is, know what your marriage laws are. Research them in the beginning of your wedding. And I remember how I mentioned in the first video that wedding binder organization. Take all those documents that you need for your wedding license and make sure they're close to your wedding binder. I mean, don't carry them around because you don't want your social security card going missing. You don't want your state ID going missing. You don't want important documents just out there falling out your binder. But know that they're close to that area. So when it comes to go turn that application in, you're ready. Make sure you know what your last name is going to be so you're ready. Also, make sure you know who's going to sign with you. Because normally when you have a marriage license and you get married, most people don't think of witnesses. Yes, you still need a witness, even if you have a big old ceremony and you have an officiant or your pastor, you still need two witnesses. So what I say is have somebody that your groom or partner is close with, be on it. Have somebody that you're close with or been best friend with, be your witnesses. That way you know that they're included in your special day. Because sometimes we don't include our best friends. Sometimes we have long childhood friends that live out of state, out of city, even out the country. So if you say, hey man, you want to be on my wedding license being my little witness, most of the time they say yeah. So I said, make sure, this is the last time I'm going to say make sure in this video, but make sure you know what your license rules, regulations, what documents you need. So when it comes to that month, week, 3 days, wherever your state laws are to getting a marriage license, make sure you have your documents, make sure you have your witnesses, and make sure you have your wedding officiant. Now let's get to wedding officiants. Like I mentioned in the venue video that I just posted the other day, it's shocking, but yes, most wedding officiants do run you a pretty penny now. So you have to understand when you go and look for a wedding officiant, understand what they're giving you, understand what's included in the package, and understand exactly how long, if there's any hidden fees, and if you need to do something beforehand. Now, yes, I know we can go online, have our family member do it, get paid for free, no money, just give them a tip. Okay, that's nice, that's personal. But you don't want your family to be overwhelmed a lot of the time on your wedding day. Because we're already, as do-yourself brides, grooms, or wherever your sex is, our family are already overwhelmed with helping us plan our wedding. Sometimes they're even giving us money and then being included in what decisions are in that wedding. They already kind of stressed. So instead of putting more stress on your family, I understand some family members were like, yeah, dog, I'll do it. Yeah, girl, I help you out. I'll go online and get it for free and do it. But here's the kicker. Then you're taking them away from you if you actually need them. And this is what I mean taking away. So let's say you're having a hard time and you're looking for that person. Most of the time, wedding officiants or whoever doing your wedding don't show up no more than 30 minutes, sometimes even 15 minutes before the time is supposed to start. So I say splurge the money on a good wedding officiant. And when I say splurge, I mean wedding officiants. Yes, you can find some for really cheap, but you have to look at the quality, you have to look at the reviews, and you have to understand, do they fit your style? And they have to fit your style, or it can be deadly. Because I've been to some weddings to where I'm falling asleep in the back. I'm into some weddings to where the wedding officiant show up drunk. I'm into some weddings that wedding officiants literally forgot the bride and groom name. So make sure when you're picking out a wedding officiant, make sure they fit your style and your groom style. And let me just tell you guys, wedding officiants have changed a lot in the last 10 to 15 years. And that's because a lot of people are having smaller weddings. A lot of people are just looking for someone to sign that marriage license. And that's why wedding officiants have changed their price so much. And when I say change their price a lot, I mean a lot. It used to be you can get a wedding officiant for like $25, $50. Nowadays, a wedding officiant is going to run you $150, sometimes up to $3,000, depending on your location. I know I said in my previous video, your location is what makes your budget, and that's true. So understand your state laws. Understand that depending where you are, your wedding officiant is going to cost some money. But listen, that's a splurge for your ceremony. I don't think anyone should skip on. Pay good money for your wedding officiant. Make sure they fit your style. Make sure they understand what you want. Now, I'm going to get into money. So I'm going to take a break. Let you take a breather. Let you finish taking notes. Hey, even hit that like, subscribe button. Yes, I say like and subscribe button. Because a girl, needs a few subscribers. I appreciate you guys watching my videos. I really appreciate it if you subscribe. That way you can be in the know before anyone else be in the know when I drop. Because I'm aiming to drop videos every day. So I'm going to sit here for a few seconds. Okay, now let's get back into it. Wedding officiants, this is what you need to know and understand. Most wedding officiants do not take a solid book date because they're not sure what's going to happen. Because wedding officiants are basically people, sometimes they're ministers, sometimes they're pastors, but lately a lot of wedding officiants are people who went online, made it a business. So sometimes they can have like a short wedding, family emergencies and stuff like that come up. So a lot of wedding officiants won't take a solid book, but most of the time if you say, hey, I'm getting married during this time and on this date, can you hold my spot and we meet up a month to 2 weeks before the wedding to go over the ceremony and what we would like? They do it. Second of all, you need to understand if they're charging you fees or mileage. Mileage. So you want to make sure you understand if their mileage cost. Mileage cost is basically if your wedding officiant is driving more than most wedding officiants say 5 miles. So you want to make sure your wedding officiant mileage, if there's a fee, you know exactly how much fee that's going to be. For that way, you have it put up, and you know securely. Secondly, that's basically two major ones. But this is my secondly. Because I say it like that because most of the time when you're talking to a wedding officiant, you have to understand they see lots of brides and grooms and same-sex couples all the time. So make sure they're good at memorizing, make sure they're good at staying organized, and make sure they understand what you want. And I understand that can be difficult because in the beginning process of a wedding, most bride, groom, whatever your sex are, we focus on decor, we focus on centerpieces, we focus on backdrops, table linens, what we're going to eat, if we can drink. But a lot of times people forget about the wedding officiant and the marriage license, which I don't know why, because without those two things, you really don't have a wedding. You just have a big old party that costs like 10 to 13 grand. And if you're a budget bride, I say it's important to make sure you get your marriage license information you need in application. Make sure you understand and get your wedding officiant. For that way, you know that you have those two people. Put that money aside in an envelope in a secret place that you and your partner only knows about. You heard me. Put that little money in the envelope. Secure it up good. Even if you have to plaster wrap it a few times, put it in some tin foil. Do whatever you have to do. Keep that money nice and secure. Don't think about it. Just make a memo on the bottom page, like the day before, page before your big day. Make a note. Pay wedding officiant. Keep that contact number of that wedding officiant that you booked. Keep that information on everything you guys talked through, and make sure that the wedding officiant fits your style. I know you heard me say style a few times, so I'm going to go over what I mean. Nowadays, there's many styles and forms of a wedding officiant. A wedding officiant is to make your ceremony and make your wedding. Now, if you're getting married in a church, your pastor or minister will suggest 6 months of counseling. Yes, 6 months of counseling. Sometimes your minister and pastor will let you use the church, but you still have to tip them. Just because they're giving you probably free service or a little bit of discount, they still need to get paid. So make sure you pay them or know what they or just tip them. In my another video, I'm going to go over tips and how to do it. Now, let's get to people who ain't ministers and pastors who didn't go to school for like 5+ years. That's not on a pulpit every Sunday. Let's talk about the average Joe you see on Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, The Knot. Those people have built their business off of reputation. So you want to read all those reviews, read what they're giving you, and understand your packet. Because here's the kicker. Most wedding officiants have packages. So you have to make sure you understand what package. Because if you're just doing a basic elopement package, they're looking for no more than 10 to 15 guests. You heard me. No more than 10 to 15 guests. They're just looking for two people to sign the license, and it's done and over in 15 minutes. That's going to run you between $150 to $300. Now, if you're looking for like the silver or gold packet, some of them call that, then they're like, okay, you can have 25 guests, two witnesses, it'd be over in 30 minutes. Some of them actually let you customize the day of your wedding. So when you look for a wedding officiant, make sure they understand what you want to include, how you want to customize, see if they even allow it. And I say, I understand a lot of people don't want to hear this. Do couple counseling. Understand your partner very, very well. Because when you get married, people sometimes change. Sometimes people act different. So I say spend a little money and do couple counseling. These are just my advice. This is just me telling you from what I've learned, seen, and looked about. So let me recap in this video. Marriage license. Make sure you are getting all the information you need from your state and county you live in. Make sure you get that application. Make sure you understand the documents you need. Write that down and write down how soon you need to do it. And if you got to pay for doing a 24-hour rush. So make sure you get that marriage license. Make sure you research your wedding officiant. Make sure you understand what they're offering you. And number 3, make sure you do some type of marriage counseling, even if it's for a month. Again, I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other videos. Stay blessed. Stay loved. Don't forget to love your partner.